The first problem is how to describe this movie. It's not a horror movie, definitely not a horror movie. Maybe a thriller, maybe some neo fantasy, maybe some mystery, but it's all mixed together. There will be small spoilers, but honestly, the story is not really the selling point, at least not for me. It is okay, but nothing spectacular. It drives on other elements. The movie can be divided into three distinguished parts. The beginning is just amazing. This is from where Mona Lisa, the main character, escapes from the asylum and makes her way to New Orleans. There are some horror elements in here in the beginning. So, since I saw it in the sneak and didn't know what movie was coming, I first thought it would be a horror movie, but it isn't. And it's just like traces of horror in there. In this part, the music is absolutely amazing. It's like a art house music video, and it really hooks you in. Like if you see it by surprise, like I did, this is the part that grabs you. If you know what you're watching, then probably not so much because you want to watch it, but this part is amazing. The middle part, by storytelling, not by time, is when Mona Lisa reaches New Orleans and meets all the main characters. This is kind of a basic story, not really surprising, but it has some nice elements, some nice visuals. The main characters are first off Ed Skrein. I honestly don't know how to pronounce it. He plays a DJ slash drug dealer who is quite entertaining and responsible for some really great visuals, like his kitchen, who is completely fluorescent. I don't know how he cooks anything in that light, but okay. In the beginning, he seemed a bit creepy, but that's probably has to do with the fact that the lead actress seems a lot younger than she is. Then we have Craig Robinson, aka the Pontiac Bandit, Doug Judy. I hope you know from which series that is. And he plays a police officer who is sort of the antagonist, but not really. Like he has a reason to hunt the girl, like a good reason to hunt the girls, but if you point to anyone as an antagonist, it's him. But this movie doesn't really have a classic antagonist. But he is okay in the role, nothing special, not he doesn't do anything wrong, so it's okay. And then we have Kate Hudson and her son Evan Whitten. Those are the worst characters and the worst actor respectively. Kate Hudson does a great job as a basically broke stripper and can be classified as a secondary antagonist, maybe. And her son is unfortunately not really good. Like, I know it's a child actor, so you can't be that harsh, but he's really bad in this movie. Like, there are scenes that seem so acted, which is a problem because you shouldn't see like the actor in the movie, that it really is quite distracting. Also, there's a scene where he draws Mona Lisa, and the scene is accompanied by quite romantic sort of music. You can even say like a sexual kind of music because it's like a jazz number. And the problem is the actress is 28 and the boy is like 11 or 12. I couldn't find a age, which honestly is quite good that I didn't publish the ages of child actors. But this seems a bit weird. Like you have an romantic, bit sexual undertone between a almost 30-year-old woman and a 10-year-old boy. That's a bit off. And later you see that he's a bit jealous, so they were going in that direction. So I don't know, it's a bit iffy. The lead, which name I definitely cannot pronounce, Jong-seo. So I'm really sorry. I tried to look it up on Wikipedia. There was no pronunciation. I'm sorry. She's great. She is really great. She is by far the best actor in this movie. She does not speak a lot, and if she speaks, you can hear quite the thick accent, like me, but with her it's a Korean accent, and that actually works quite well within the story, because story-wise, she's been locked away for at least 10 years, and she is from Korea in story, so it makes sense that her English isn't really good, because she didn't have any time to speak it. Like, she listened to a nurse a little bit, but that's basically it. So it makes sense that her English is not the best, and it works with the story. The actress works a lot with her facial expressions, which she does really, really great. She really conveys the kind of fish out of water thing that goes on here. Like, she doesn't know where she is, what she's doing. She just tries to get by. She doesn't understand everything going on around her. And she conveys this really, really good through just her facial expressions. So that is a big plus point for this movie. One problem is that her name, Mona Lisa Lee, is used by Kate Hudson without it being explained how she knows it. In the beginning, I thought it's kind of a funny nickname, but then the police finds out that her name actually is Mona Lisa Lee. So I don't understand how Kate Hudson's characters knows her name, because every time Mona Lisa is asked for her name, she doesn't respond. So maybe there was a scene cut out, but it's quite strange. This part of the movie, like the middle part, the story part, is the weakest, because the story is quite basic. It follows a very obvious road, like you can imagine what happens next. So it's okay, there's some funny interaction between a bouncer and some guests, let's call them guests at the strip club, so that's quite funny, but in general it's just a very ordinary story. And without going into heavy spoilers, the ending is a bit surprising and kind of leaves you with a positive feeling. In general, the movie is quite hard to judge. The story is basic but doesn't do anything really wrong, holds no surprises, and is just okay. Like, there are no obvious mistakes or obvious implausibilities, but the music and the visuals are amazing. In the beginning and in the end, there are some little things mixed into the middle part, but the beginning, especially, and the end are really stunning. And those are the things that are really mesmerizing, that really grab you to the screen. So, since the movie is not really that long, I would say the movie is worth a watch just to take in the cinematography, like the music, the visuals. But if you want a real mystery, like a supernatural thriller, this is not it. It is interesting to watch, interesting to listen to. So if you can accept a movie that stuns you and doesn't try to be anything grand, just wants to show you something nice, you should watch this movie.